Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. Wow, my battery's going dead already. It's usually a hint. It's like, don't talk, Lisa, don't talk. Nobody wants to hear you. It's okay, I'm gonna talk anyway. So, what I was gonna say is, I've been trying to get a video out all day long, basically. I've been working my rear off, needless to say, but I mean, don't we all? So, long story short, I was making a video about something I've been meaning to touch up on and touch base with for a while now. I had done an earlier video, I think maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I called it, I think it was the helicopter phenomenon, which is something that, you know, a huge majority of the population is actually experiencing. And that's when the individuals are experiencing the flyovers, getting their heads buzzed, basically flying right over them constantly everywhere they go by either helicopters or small aircraft or UFOs, in my case, all of them. So this phenomenon is very real. It happens to so many people, and I'm sure if you guys are savvy on YouTube or any of those platforms, such as, you know, you are familiar with what I'm speaking of as far as these. I think Richard Bruce is one of them that actually experienced that for the longest time. Also, I might add, the Illuminati card game speaks of Black Hawk helicopters or the helicopter phenomenon, which is basically, I think it's basically what they're trying to do. It's electronic harassment, is my understanding. And also my belief as well, because my life has been a living hell sometimes just due to this, and also having Morgellons disease. So with that said, it seems like once we become awake, those of us that experience this are all awake. That is our common grounds there. We are aware of the truth. We no longer believe in the lies. We see right through them. Most of us start speaking out about them publicly, like I am now. And that's when it seems like all the targeted individual gang stalking type situations start happening and occurring. And again, topping my list and so many others would also be the helicopters and small aircraft flyovers. I do believe, again, like I said, it's probably an electronic harassment that they're utilizing. However, some of those aircraft, I myself have watched them, shall we say, shapes shift in midair, change into things that they shouldn't be. Not an airplane anymore, so to speak, if you get my drift. I know it sounds crazy. I know. I mean, somebody told me that, I'd be like, yep, that's freaking crazy. She's crazy. She crazy, guys. Call the popo. She crazy. Crazy house girl over there. So I get it. I get it. But I mean, I know that there's too many of us now speaking out. I mean, come on. Your government's told you. They said so. Hello. And Dad, had that word's for you, by the way, Daddy. Yeah, none of my family believe me. That goes for all of them. That's for you guys right there. You can tell me sorry later, or you won't though, but that's okay. So back to what I was saying. These helicopter flyovers happen a lot. But one thing I noticed right around 2016-ish, when I was zooming in close to the aircraft, I would always notice these small little dots, just occurrence of blips, like what I thought was blips. But when I would slow the video down, watch it in slow-mo and scrub it afterwards, and sometimes, you know, I would contrast the image just to see what I was looking at, because I'm like, those aren't bugs, those aren't birds. And trust me, guys, I look for the logic too. When you're standing there in person, you know what you're looking at, and you know what bugs are and birds are and what they look like in a video if they happen to just bleep into your video real quick. Okay, we all know that. So I don't want to hear some guru out there like, that's just a bug. I'll be like, I'm getting ready to bug your butt here in a second. So, okay, so we think the same way as you, same logical way that we were conditioned. We do that too. The difference is we can see the difference, okay? That's what the difference is. So, so when I would scrub these videos, what I would notice is these drone-like little beings or orbs. Sometimes they were round orbs, oddly enough, or a little disc shape, almost clear in the middle, but a black kind of roundness on the outside that defined it. And sometimes they look like mechanical bugs almost, but not bugs, like almost like a boomerang with a point at the end is one way to explain it. They were definitely more so leaning towards like the mechanical, technological side versus organic, in my opinion. However, I watched those things kind of shapeshift as well. that's not saying anything. I mean, I'm sure that our technology is probably very savvy on a lot of this stuff. And, you know, fallen angel technology given to us? Probably so. Some of you might say, no, aliens gave that to us. We're singing the same song, dears. We are. We're singing the same song. Aliens, fallen angels, it's the same song. It is. You know, the only difference is I believe I have a creator and a savior. That's the biggest difference. That's the most important difference. I'm just going to leave it at that. But yes, they are aliens because they're not from here. And I don't believe they flew down with their little angel wings and landed on the ground and said, I'm going to sleep with her. I like her. She cute. She really cute. I'm going to be with her tonight. No, I don't think that's how that went exactly. I mean, maybe a little, but no, I really think they did come down in some sort of a technologically advanced way. I believe they've opened portals, and I believe heaven, you know, meaning the stars or above, or the galaxies, or, my opinion, the dimensions. We live in dimensions. Our whole world is based off of frequencies and vibrations. I mean, it is. And I think some of us, those of us that are awake, are kind of 1 foot in each dimension right now, you know, between like third and the fourth, and some of us the fifth. I don't know. I mean, I think that that's a big portion of the awakening, because when our families can't see what we're experiencing or going through, and I mean, like, we see it plain as day. It's like, how can you not see that? It's like putting it in their face closer. Can you see it now? And they can't. So you know that there's something going on there, something a little quirky. And I mean, it's not just me experiencing that. It's like all of us. And the only people that can see what we're pointing out, or what it is that we're trying to show them, are awake. That's the only people that can see it. I mean, truth be told, that's pretty much true. And those that don't see it, want to see it. There's some people that want to see it but can't see it, and they are beginning to wake up, I think, is maybe where that rests and lays in that situation. I don't have the answers. I'm uncertain, but I know I've delved in deep and hard into this since 2015 to all of it, because the one thing I know is that people don't just wake up one day with, say, for instance, Morgellons, and just have Morgellons, or seeing the shadow figure at the foot of their bed and just see the shadow figure, or saw Bigfoot and goes out in the woods every day after that looking for Bigfoot, or the UFOs, you know, or UAPs or ABCs or whatever the crap you guys get so offended if you say it a different way. It's just like, look, we all know we can't identify the flying object. Okay, some of it's not even flying, some of it's just kind of hovering. So what are you going to say then? So let's not get so technical with how we're going to say that and not offend anyone, because it's already hard enough to live in the world, all right? We don't need any little smart alecks or touchy situations. We're like, don't you call that a UFP? I can't stand it. I don't want to hear it. Sorry, but you're gonna, and that's the least of your worries. You're welcome. You're welcome. Grow up. So, okay, we're past that now. So, I'm going to say this again. When I woke up, I had Morgellons, but the next day I was seeing UFOs, and the next day I was seeing fibers and things changing and shape-shifting, and I was seeing everything in the day after and the day after, where my awakening wasn't just a slow, easy, like, wakey, wakey, Lise, time to get up. And I mean, it was terrifying. And look back now, I mean, it was terrifying. I didn't know what was going on. I felt crazy, but I knew I wasn't. And I know most of you can relate to me, like what I've just said. I know you can, because you get your whole family turned against you. The whole world just suddenly like, whoop, don't want to know her. Ain't talking to her anymore. And you find yourself alone, and you find yourself, literally, it's like sink or swim, you know, do or die. And you do, you know, because when we needed a hero, well, that's what we became. That's exactly what we became, because nobody else was going to do it for us. So that's the good part. You're warriors now. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Warrior Club, because that's what we are. We are warriors. So I think all this is interconnected is what I'm getting at. You know, it's not just one thing, it's all things, many things, but many things that are one, if that makes sense. All a piece of a very, very large master puzzle. In this case, I think I might be correct in this, because it's the only thing that makes sense. I mean, I'm not looking for the logic anymore, but I am trying to coordinate the pieces, right? And the pieces were like, bam, here they are. What you gonna do now? So that's kind of how I gathered my information and said, wow, this must be all interconnected, because it only makes sense. So yeah. So anyways, what you're going to see in these videos is these orb drone looking things kind of zooming in and out of by the aircraft. I'm going to play it fast then slow. You'll see it kind of from in a far off distance, and I'll zoom in. I will show you the weirdest part of all, though, is during this filming of the helicopter and all of these things that I couldn't see with my naked eye, by the way, because it was far away. But you know, when you start looking, and I knew too, because I discovered this back in 2015, that typically, especially military aircraft, but typically any small aircraft, you're going to see these things. Some people say it's because they're curious of the craft and they're checking it out. You want my opinion? I've seen the aircraft themselves shapeshift. So I'm gonna come at this at a probably complete different point of view and thought process as to what most of you would think. And I know it would probably make more sense that they were curious and checking out our aircraft. And I probably would have thought that until I saw, well, a helicopter turn into what looked like a freaking giant praying mantis. No joke, for real. So, and I mean, it's in a blink of an eye, just a split second. And if you don't scrub the video and watch it as slow, and then sometimes you gotta save it as slow and then make it slower and slower. If you blink, you miss it, so to speak. You know, you snooze, you lose. So this is why I think sometimes those crafts are them also. And at night, the UFOs, I think those are them too. I think they're all like plasmatic interdimensional beings of some sort. They can mimic anything. They can be whatever they want to be when they grow up. Like, no joke. Like, they can really be what they want to be. Okay. So, again, my opinion, but I've seen it. I've witnessed it. So, my opinion is valid. It is. I'm not saying this is like the case all the time, but in my case, it's the case pretty much all the time. So just something to think about. Just a little bit of a twist and a different take on it. And that's my take. And you know, you guys tell me what you think in the comments too, because this is how we all learn. We share. We have to share information. This is kind of how we grow and we learn, because just when I think I've got it all figured out, lo and behold, I'll find I was completely wrong and off in left field. I have to start all over from square one to learn again because, well, number one, we never stop learning. Number two, I don't think that there are 100% like answers for everything out there. And most of all, I don't think we ever had to have the answers. Man, wouldn't it be nice? Because it drives me crazy sometimes, like actually all the time, you know, constantly thinking about it, wondering like, what are you guys doing? And why are they picking out a certain, you know, handful of us? Now, we all know there's nothing special about us, or we don't feel there is, right? So I can't specifically say like there's something special about me, because there's hundreds and thousands of us experiencing this. But what I can say is there is something about all of us that are experiencing this, and I just don't know what it is. One of these days, I'm going to figure it out. I don't know if we were what they call abductees or alien babies, or again, I'm going to say fallen ones, fallen angels, because we're singing the same dang song we are. Because, I mean, same thing, you know, not from here, aliens, fallen angels, not from here. They fell, they flew, whatever, they all flew, who knows? We all flew for flu, you know? I mean, but we're singing the same song. Like I said, the only difference is I have a creator and a savior. And I know most of you do too. And if you guys don't, man, find them, please, because it's going to be great one day. It's going to be so great. We're going to have so much fun. I don't even know what kind of fun it's going to be, but I just know it. It's going to be beautiful. It is. So back to what I was saying. After this was happening, the helicopters start flying over me as I'm making the film. As I'm trying to make this film right here that I'm getting ready to present to you, you will see tacked on to the end of the video are like, well, several other occurrences of the flyovers by helicopters, but I caught two of them, and you will see them, tack them onto the end of the video. And I was just like, what the crap, man? What just happened? Like, did you guys like, you know, I was in here? And yes, they do, I guess. I don't know if it has to do with a universal consciousness or a vibrational frequency, and probably gonna go with that one, because I think that probably communication really never even actually required voices like this, you know? I mean, look at animals, they do it all the time. I mean, they might grunt and fart at each other occasionally, but they still know what each other's saying, you know what I mean? So actually that sounded like my ex-husband. So come to think of it, he grunted and farted at me all the time for communication. So hence why I'm single. True story. All jokes aside, corny ones included. We're gonna get to the video. What I do want to add is that it's not perfect. I know I shake. I know my videos aren't the best. And I'm sorry, but it's like when they're happening, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get you. And you know, it's like, who's really ever prepared? You know, like, let me get my tripod, iPod, whatever. Let me set that up and stabilize my phone. Like, you have about 3 seconds, guys, to do this, okay? So I appreciate the constructive criticism. I do, and I understand why you're giving it, but don't you think I thought about that too? I mean, come on. It's like, no, I just set out today to make a crappy video. I just was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna make a really crappy video and I hope they hate it. I mean, hello. So no, didn't set out to do it on purpose. I know, it sucks sometimes. I try, it's more than some do, right? So give me an E for effort, dang it, or egghead or something. Just give me something instead of the negative all the time, please, for the love of goodness, because I love you and I want you to love me too. Because we all need love. We do need love. And man, the world puts us down all the time anyway, and it's hurtful. We're human at the end of the day with human hearts that are breakable and spirits that can be crushed. And I don't want to do that to anyone. And I hope you don't want to do it to me either. So with that said, please leave your comments in the comment section of the video with your thoughts, because this is how we learn, guys. This is how we learn. We learn from each other. I don't have the answers. I'm not a know-it-all. I think I know a lot, but you know, I'm just kidding. But I mean, really, I learned from all of you too. You guys have taught me so much, you know, and every day we're learning, and we never, ever stop learning or growing. I mean, truth be told, I'm still like a toddler, I feel like, except for I'm not wearing dependables yet. Hence yet. Just kidding. I'm not a toddler. I'm a big girl. Believe me, don't you? All right, guys, I'm so tired, so I'm going to get the show on the road and the video on the YouTube channel. So much love to all of you, and I hope you have a wonderful evening, beautiful day tomorrow, and just know that you are loved and I love you. And I thank you guys from the depths of my heart for being here with me through this crazy ass journey. True story. Love ya. This nonsense. Look for the orbs and stuff that fly around this thing. Watch. You're gonna see little balls of light everywhere surround this thing. If you didn't already in the earlier video. I'm not talking about the bugs either. I'm talking